you. We're talking to Jackson State Hooper, Shannon Grant. What was the best cafeteria?
Oh, for sure. It ain't a day that go by when I used to wake up in the morning excited to go to weights just because I knew I was gonna be able to hit that breakfast right after. I'm telling you.
Did you have like maybe a teammate that you knew had a little bit too much fun the night before a game?
Man, I tell you this, right?
Like, would you want your girl at an HBCU? Like
No
the
way.
7 day,
No way.
or send
No
your girl.
way.
What was maybe one of the better student sections, one of the better environments you played in?
But I'm glad you asked that question.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D-Gen Show. Today, I got a special guest for you. We're talking to Jackson State Hooper, Shannon Grant. What is up, man? How are you?
What's going on, man? I'm blessed. How about yourself?
I'm chilling, man. It's a blessing to be with such a stud like big ol' Shannon, man. You played at Jackson State, Mercer, and Florida A&M. You played a lot of college basketball. What
Right.
was the worst gym you had to play in your entire college career?
Uh, uh, like I'm not trying to be funny when I say it. I'm being honest when I say it. It was probably Bethune-Cookman. Only because like they gym so small, it kind of puts you in mind of like a high school gym, like how small it is and how close everybody is to the court and how much space it is around the court. So I'd probably say that, but just based off of size though. But as far as like the atmosphere, every time that I played there, both times that I played there, it was a good atmosphere, it was a good crowd. So I don't mean it based off of that. I just mean based off the structure of the gym.
Gotcha. Bethune-Cookman has like those railings, right?
Yeah. But they got a super small gym though. It's not big at all.
Bethune-Cookman's had some solid players over the years.
Yeah, they was solid this year.
Is Zion Harmon still there?
Yeah. Went back there. Yeah, they're gonna be a good team this year.
But I wanted to ask. Everybody has these, welcome to Division I moments. Like, what was yours?
I'll give you two of them. I feel like I had one in practice, and I also had one like in the games. I would say in practice, it was just coming to campus because I'm a bigger guy. I needed to drop a few pounds, get in better shape. So just like that first week of like just summer conditioning, summer workouts, that's when I was like, yeah, you're gonna have to work a little bit harder if you want to be better on this level. So probably that for practice. And then as far as the games, I'll probably say just going against like the players that I went against in practice. Cause like I'll always say to this day, it's a guy that I played with, Felipe Hasse. He was probably like the hardest player I had to guard, but I had to guard him every day in practice. So like guarding him really made me a lot better.
Was he a big?
Yeah, but he played like the 4-5, but he could
Gotcha.
shoot the ball and he didn't miss. So he was like a guy to where it was like he was smarter because it wasn't like he was just overly athletic. He just knew how to play the game. He played for the G League, the G League team in Mexico City this past season.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure where he's playing at now, but he did play there that past season. But he was just a real good player, and like as a freshman coming in, like he had been playing college for a minute, so he just knew how to play the game. And it was just good for me every day being able to go against him.
Gotcha. And this was at Mercer, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any like funny stories that just instantly come to your mind when you're at Mercer?
I would say maybe my freshman year, because I graduated high school in 2020 though, so
Gotcha.
that was like the kind of like the beginning of the COVID stuff. Whenever I talked to my teammates that had been there that past year, they were telling me like how different it was this year. And obviously, that was everywhere, like not just at Mercer, but at every school, like across the world. Like the world had just changed. So it was like just coming into it. Like I never thought I was gonna be one of those people that got COVID just because like I really try to take care of my body and just like stay away from like people that I wasn't around every day. And plus, we were doing like the COVID test like
Uh,
damn near every day. Like we did the COVID test every day, bro. Like every day at like 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, every day. So it's like I want to say we got to like the Christmas break. I ended up catching COVID, and I would say the something that was funny about that, but it wasn't funny at the same time, was how I was housed for COVID. They had me in like a like a super dark like I don't even know how to explain it, like a Halloween house almost with like old paintings of like the presidents of the school, like the leaders of the school. Like I was just in a building like that, like by myself, like a super big house, and I'm the only one in there. It's dark. They gave me like a super small, tiny TV. Like I don't have nothing to do in there. I can't leave. Like I'm quarantining. I had to stay in there for I want to say 7 days over the winter break, and I was like, man, what I'm gonna do in this house? Like, they got the pains of like the old men on the wall. It's creepy in here. It's people like going by on the street looking in the windows. I'm like, man, no way, no way, man. But
what you said? Was it pretty big?
it was a huge house, bro. It was upstairs and downstairs. It had to have. It was you like. I believe you told me something earlier about you was moving into a dorm room,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like on a lot of college campuses, you will see like houses that are like dedicated to something. You know, like whether
Uh,
it's like the house of the law school or whatever, like some type of donors or something. It was one of
yeah.
those type of houses. And it was just like, bro, I was in that big house like by myself. Like it was just weird because it like all that stuff, and they had a piano in there, like like everything like a haunted house. But I was in there staying by myself, so it was just weird, bro. It was weird, but it was funny at the same time. Just telling people that story.
When did you start going like a little crazy? Because you were there for 7 days.
Man,
What?
probably, I would probably say like that first night, it really like made me like, okay, like what's going on? Because it's already different. Like I had COVID, so it was like I was already feeling bad, like I couldn't move around. So it was like, man, I don't know what they got going on.
It
Put
it
me in
wasn't
this
like
little house.
sick. It wasn't. You were actually like sick.
I would like, I'll probably say I was like sick for like a couple days, maybe like the first 2 days. After that, I felt like I was alright.
But it was just a normal cold, right?
That's what it felt like. But I
Yeah.
took the COVID test. They said it was positive, so I had to quarantine.
Oh my god, I remember that you had to be in all the tents every day. Oh boy.
Yeah, bro. I hated that sticking a thing in your nose. I ain't like all that. I'm grateful that all that's over. Hopefully, it don't
Mhm.
happen again. Yeah,
I wanted to piggyback on the worst gym question. What was like the most lifeless college basketball game you've ever played or ever
bro.
played?
It was COVID. Like during COVID, we played with no fans. Like nobody in the stands. It's basically like we scrimmaging the other team. Like I would say on most Division 1 teams I know, like you play like maybe you might play like one or two, maybe even three exhibition games before the season starts. Whereas like it's no fans, you just play a team just to see like where you may be before the season start. That's what every game felt like when I was in like that COVID phase. Like it was no fans.
Even even after COVID, I mean, there was definitely some schools that you hit up that were very like maybe you could count on a couple fingers of how many people were in the gym.
I mean, yeah, I feel like especially when I was at FAMU, we definitely had like teams that we played. I would say like the one that really comes to mind was, man, I forgot what that school was. It's in South Carolina, Big South School.
South Carolina State.
No, Presbyterian. We played them in the
Oh, Presbyterian.
out of
Yeah.
conference. Yeah, we played them. They gym is very similar to Bethune Cookman, like a real small gym, like not even connected to campus. It was just like it felt like it was in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, it went nobody. And then I would also say that another school that like I would say the first year that I played there, no, the second year that I played there was VMI, Virginia Military. Man, like
Yup.
this for some reason the third year I played there, it was a good crowd though. It was a lot of people
Really?
there. But
Please,
that second year I played there, it was nobody there.
please tell me you guys beat the Keydets, man.
Oh yeah, I feel like yeah. We definitely beat them both times when we were away. Don't
Those guys.
sleep on it though. They was a good team though. Like I would say they had good players and they knew how to play good basketball. Like they have a good team though, especially the years that I was there when they had Jake Stevenson before he went to
Yeah,
Chattanooga. They had
yeah.
a good team. They were solid. I'm not gonna lie. They played good basketball.
They had a couple of years though where it got pretty rough. I'm pretty sure they had 3 wins one year.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that might have been either before I got there or after I left.
Now I try to ask everybody this: What you've been to a couple schools? What was the best cafeteria?
Oh, for sure. It ain't a day that go by when I wake up in the morning and I don't think about that FAMU breakfast.
Really?
Every single one of my teammates from FAMU know I ain't capping when I say this. That FAMU breakfast, bro, top five. Like top five breakfasts that I've had in my life. Like they didn't miss every morning. It was a hit. I used to wake up in the morning excited to go to weights just because I knew I was gonna be able to hit that breakfast right after. I'm
Oh my!
telling you. I'm
Oh my!
telling you.
How
But
how
other
how was lunch and dinner there?
I couldn't even tell you. I really didn't even eat. I really, you know how like the school I have like restaurants that you can go to. That's
Yeah.
what I eat most of the time for like lunch and dinner stuff like that. I really didn't even go to the cafeteria that often as far as like after.
Well,
But
what
in the morning for that breakfast, I'm there.
was
I'm
what
there.
what was the go-to breakfast order at the cafeteria?
Okay, bet. So if I go in there in the morning time, say we had weights at like 7. So normally we probably gonna be done at weights at like 8. I probably got a class at 9:30. So I'm gonna sit in there for at least an hour just to wind down after weights. I'm gonna start with some fruit. I'm gonna give me 2 cups of water. No, I'm gonna give me a cup of water. I'm gonna give me a cup of Gatorade, and then I'm gonna go cheese grits, patty sausage, potatoes, eggs, and then I'm gonna go to the waffle machine. Right? I'm gonna go waffle. I'm gonna go waffle. I'm gonna go butter. I'm gonna go a little syrup on that guy, and I sit back and I enjoy it. That's what I ate every morning for breakfast. But
Did
they
you
they like they switched it up though. Like one day they might have like French toast, something that different. But it
uh
was always a hit though. It was always a hit.
OJ guy?
Oh, orange juice for sure. Orange juice in the morning, apple juice, all that, whatever they got. Like I'm with it. I'm with it.
What was did you ever go to any Florida A&M football games? How was that?
Oh yeah, they was nice that year that I was there. Like they won the HBC national championship when I was there. They
Yeah.
game of the games that I did go to because I want to say that I didn't get to go to maybe like the games that were around the time like when basketball season started. But of the games that I went to like before the season started, they was all live. Like they had a nice little crowd out there. They band
And
was good. Like it was a good show. Like they had food trucks and stuff. Like they really had put on a good time out there for the football games.
so, which one had the which better HBCU or which HBCU had the better band?
Can I be honest with you, bro? I'm gonna
Uh,
be dead. I'm gonna be dead serious with you when I tell you this. I
Mercer?
didn't. I did. I didn't go to one Jackson State football game.
Are you serious?
But it's not because I didn't want to though. It was really just like the way our schedule was set up. Like we'll have like something early in the morning, and by that time, like last year, I was at the point where I went on campus. Like I stayed off of campus. I really just stayed to myself
Mhm.
outside of like practice, workouts, whatever we had. So I really didn't do much when I went to Jackson. But I will say of the bands that I did like get to see in person, definitely FAMU. Like their band was on point because even
Yeah,
like their band was even at our basketball games sometimes, and they sounded real good.
yeah. Bethune Cookman has a pretty solid band too.
Yeah, they band. Yeah, I feel like all the HBCU bands
Yeah,
that I did get a chance to like listen to, they were all solid. But I would probably say definitely FAMU probably had the best band I've heard.
you just missed the Deion Sanders Jackson State era, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He was he. I think he had been gone 3 maybe 4 years before I got there. Because when he was there, they were still like rocking the Nike uniforms. When I went there, they was back in Under Armour.
Was that long ago? I guess it's been how? Wow. Jeez. I feel like that feels like yesterday he was at Jackson State.
Yeah, that
Um,
was a minute ago.
yeah, I heard. Speaking of Jackson State, I heard you guys took a preseason tournament in Puerto Rico. Like, exhibition stuff, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What was that like on and off the court? Because I know there's definitely some stuff off also.
Okay, I'm gonna go off the court first. Again, I will say that, I'm the type of guy I like to stay to myself. Not saying that I didn't like to have a good time with my teammates or nothing like that, but I was an older guy. I like to stay to myself and just chill for a while. But I will say that going to Puerto Rico, being one from Silicaga, like small little town in Alabama, it was nice to be able to see that because like the resort that we stayed at was right on the beach, so it was always a nice little view when you wake up in the morning. And then obviously being able to go out there and play basketball, that was something that was like different for me because that was like my first time. That was my second time going out the country, but it was a good experience though. It was nice. Like the teams that we played down there, they were good quality competition, especially for like us as a college team, like coming together. That was really our first time like really playing together. So like going down there and playing somebody different, that was fun. I ain't gonna lie. But just being able to see something different, that's what I really appreciated more than anything.
Gotcha. Um, now you're in Puerto Rico. Obviously, the guys want to have fun, and this isn't necessarily a question about Puerto Rico, but did you have like maybe a teammate that you knew had a little bit too much fun the night before a game?
Man, I tell you this, right? I tell you this. I had a teammate at Mercer, and like the term like wild white boys.
No.
I'll probably say like I had one teammate at Mercer, and everybody that went to Mercer with me know exactly who I'm talking about. His name was John Trainer. John Trainer, he
Oh,
was a walk on. He was my guy though. He was my guy. John my guy. He's still my guy to this day. But when I tell you that boy was wild, he was the type of like he'll say something to where you like, why would you say that, John? Like, why would you say that? But he was a cool guy though. Like that's my guy. Like he for sure. Like he's still my guy to this day though. But that was probably like my teammate that I can think of. He was just a wild boy, man. He just like to have fun. But he was cool though. He was a good basketball player too.
that's that's pretty funny. But like no crazy hangover stories though.
Nah, man. We come in the gym and we do what we gotta do, man. Handle the business.
Now we've emphasized the HBCU part, but we see it all going around. Like, would you want your girl at an HBCU? Like
No
the
way.
7 day the
No
7 day
way.
cruise, or send your
No
girl
way.
to
I'm gonna have to go 7. I'm gonna have to go 7 day cruise, bro.
you? For real?
I'm gonna have to go 7 day cruise, bro, because I like one thing that I will say though, it depends on like one, like how locked in you and your girl is, and two, like how much freedom your girl had before she going to college. Those are the two biggest factors I feel like you gotta take into account. Because if you had a girl that's like, maybe she didn't get to do that much in high school. Maybe she had a strict dad. He had let her do nothing. She got to
Yeah.
wear like overly big clothes. She can't really reveal too much. She didn't have too much freedom. So what you think gonna happen when she go to college when she by herself though? Like,
Oh my
what
god.
you think gonna happen when she go to college by herself? And she might see some basketball players walking across on campus. She might see some football players.
She might see she might see walking through the damn hallways, man.
Yeah, hey, but yeah, I go 7 day cruise for sure. I can't, nah.
what was the scene getting like girls as a Division 1 basketball player?
Man, I ain't getting no girls, man.
Really?
I ain't getting no girls, man. I was focused on school and hoops, man. I ain't getting no girls.
Come on, come
I
on.
ain't getting no girls, man. I'm telling you, man. I stayed to myself. I went to go play basketball and get my education, man.
Gotcha. Yeah, media training, man.
You
Media.
feel me? Come on now. You already know how it is. Come on now. You know better than that.
What was we talked about the most lifeless, but what was maybe one of the better student sections, one of the better environments you played in?
Ooh, but I'm glad you asked that question because I was just thinking about this. I had just thought about this the other day, right?
Yep.
So at the end of the season, like for HBCU players, it's an event called the HBCU All Star Game. It was a great event. Like I got to play in it this year. Unfortunately, I didn't get to play in the game because I ended up pulling my quad muscle. But like just the event overall, it was a great event. It was a great event for HBCU athletes. The men and the women. The women had their first game this year. You know, it's gonna be a great event again next year. But while we was out there, we actually had the chance to watch the San Antonio Spurs versus the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Like we sat like close to the floor and everything. It was a good game. It was a lot of people there. But I was just thinking about this the whole time I was in there, right? Like this past season at Jackson State, I played at Kentucky. Bro, when I tell you that it was more people in that Kentucky stadium than it was at an NBA game, I was like, man, Kentucky was rocking. Like they had
Yeah.
fireworks at the intros. You couldn't hear nothing in there during the game, so it was just like if you couldn't focus, like just like obviously, I ain't gonna say obviously, but we didn't win. We got blew out. It was a bye game. You know how it is at the beginning of the
Yeah. Yeah.
season.
Yeah.
But like if you not the type of person that can just focus on the game and just play, like the crowd will have you completely out of it because you can't understand anything that's going on in there. It's 90,000 people in there. Even in a game like that, in the beginning of the season, it was rocking. So I can only imagine how it's going, like how it is there when they play like a SEC rival team or something like that.
Yeah.
So for sure, Kentucky, that was probably the loudest gym I played at, like the whole time I was in college, for sure.
I always wonder in those hostile games, player intros, like are your legs just like noodles and shit? Like, are you pissing
Man,
yourself?
come on now, come
What's
on
what's
now.
happening?
Man, I'm good. Like at the end of the day, it's just basketball. Like we going out there to hoop. Like obviously, like those teams there, they have players that of I would say a higher caliber based off of what
Yeah.
they have access to. The type of like history they have as players. So obviously, we go into it knowing that they're predicted to be the better team, but at the end of the day, it's still basketball, though. So it's like, yeah, like you see the shows, you see what they have on TV, and seeing it in real life. I ain't gonna lie, it was a good experience because I never seen nothing like that from the college environment. But I enjoyed playing in that game, to be honest. So it was just another basketball game to me.
Got it. And speaking of that, how were bye games? Like, what was practice like? Maybe the day before, the locker room. Where was everybody's heads at when you're going to play like a top five team in the country?
Man, it was tough because I know when I was the year I was at FAMU, we had like the Ken Palm ranking for like the
Yeah, yeah,
hardest schedule. I want to say that we had the hardest schedule in the country. That year we played Creighton, Nebraska, Florida, Iowa State back. We played Iowa and Iowa State back to back. Like
and then
one
you play.
game we played Iowa State, the next game we played Iowa. Man, but it's like, bro, at the end of the day, like as a school, like those schools, they probably don't like raise like as much money as the PWI schools. So it's like you got to do that to be able to be competitive, to be able to keep up with things, pay for things like the hotels, food, all the travel expenses throughout the year. So that's I feel like that's just the way of college basketball. But at the end of the day, like I say, it's just like preparing for any other game. They may have like higher quality players or like higher caliber players, but at the end of the day, it's still just a basketball game. So you just go out there and you just try to compete as hard as you can. And at the end of the day, like somebody got to win and somebody got to lose. But I will say that I don't take it as HBCU teams just ain't gonna win those games. But it's like it's hard sometimes,
Yeah,
because I would say that I played in some games both at FAMU and at Jackson State where we were right there in the games. You get what I'm saying? Like, but it's just something that happened. It might be a call here or there, and when you looking like, damn, like they were supposed to win that game, but it's like
yeah, yeah,
you can't win the game and beat the refs at the same time. Even though like I'm not the type of player to make excuses like that to where it's like I'm blaming referees, but sometimes it's just obvious and in your face. Like they paid us to come and play there, so it's like they don't want to lose this game on their home court. So like everything that's gonna happen is gonna go their way. So it's like at the end of the day, you just gotta just wait, like just stay down and just get prepared for conference play.
yeah. And playing in environments like you said, Creighton, Iowa State. What was maybe the craziest thing that you can remember that a student ever said to you? Or
Man. Man, like I'm a heavy set player, man. So all the fat jokes, like they gonna say that, they gonna say that. So I'll probably say one thing that I will say though is like when we this year the first game that we played at Jackson State was at Houston. And I remember like I didn't feel like I played a terrible game, but against Houston, you know how Houston is. Like that's like the hardest
Great.
playing team. You feel me? Like you ain't
Yeah.
gonna get nothing easy on them. But I feel
Jamal,
like I got like some
Jamal
decent.
was a
But
stud.
you feel me? Like like they were a good team. But I just feel like their first game of the season, that being our first opponent. I remember I went out there, right, and I was like, I was holding my own out there. I felt like I was playing decent, like when the game first started. But then, like as the game wind down, they're a fast playing team. We really didn't have the subs, like even in the beginning of the year, to even go deep into the bench. So I just remember it was that like times like they just chanting Walker Jr. But I'm laughing about it, bro. Like that don't like that type of stuff don't bother me, man. Like I know the type of player that I am. I know what I can do, and like
Yeah.
I'm a professional now. So like at the end of the day, like
Yeah.
it's not too many players that's better than me, anyways. Especially from a like matching up against me standpoint. So it is what it is.
So you're a professional.
Yeah, I'm playing my first professional season right now. I just got here a week ago in Mexico in the LNBP League, and I play for a team called Santos del Potosi, the Saints.
And do you are there any familiar faces in the college basketball world playing in that league?
I will say that probably the most familiar like name that I know, like I don't really know like any like other players around the league, but there is a player on my team, Terrence Ferguson. He played for
Yeah.
the Thunder, I believe. Yeah, he played. Yeah, he played for the Thunder. I forgot what he told me he played at before that, like at high school and college. I know he said he played early professional somewhere, but yeah, he's on my team though. He's super nice. Like it's easy to tell, like like he definitely is an NBA player. Like he makes shots, athletic, tall, can do everything.
Uh,
So it's easy to tell like why he was an NBA player.
do they got you staying in a nice place?
Oh yeah. This is my apartment that I'm in right now. I don't want to show you too much, but yeah, it's a nice little place though.
That's dope. That's dope. My final question is like, who do you try to model your game off?
Man, I'm glad you said that. Me and my teammate, right?
Yeah.
I had just told him this either a day ago or 2 days ago. We were sitting down eating, and I told like he's from Serbia, so I was asking him like, has he ever been around like Nikola Jokic? Like, what was he like? And he was telling me that he actually had like practiced and like worked out like around him before. And he was saying like how he was like the most down to earth like person. Like the money didn't change him. Like he just seemed like super cool. So I would say like not saying that we like similar in personality wise, because obviously I don't know him, he don't know me, but like
Yeah.
I like to watch a lot of his game because like he's a bigger like center. He
Hmm.
not the most athletic, but he got great touch around the rim, like something that I feel like I have too. Like even with both hands, being able to pass, like find my teammates, and then also like another guy that I've been watching a lot, like just trying to pick up on like stuff that he does, like the things that make his game good is LaMarcus Aldridge. Like really those two right there, like I like watching them play because with LaMarcus Aldridge, even though like in the beginning
Yeah.
he was a little bit more athletic, like towards the end of his career, he started to rely on his shooting touch and his like footwork.
Yeah.
So like with me, I feel like with just about every team that I'm on, I know at the end of the day, my job is gonna be like to put the ball in the basket, rebound, and protect the rim. So like with them two, like just being able to watch them how they score, how they get easy buckets, because in a professional game, it's not gonna be like, especially where I'm at, it's not gonna be nobody that average 25 points.
Yeah.
You're not gonna play enough minutes to average 25 points. So it's like really for me, it's just trying to be as efficient as I can with the playing time that I get.
LaMarcus Aldridge, not only a great base on NBA 2K, don't get out, but he's so underrated. I feel
You ain't nice in 2K.
like
You not
Don,
nice in 2K.
Dante Exum, he had a nice one.
Yeah.
You played a lot of 2K at the COVID
Man,
Mercer.
I was just playing 2K a while ago. Like,
Really?
man, come on now.
You're still playing?
Man, come on now. I'm still on 2K
Come
now.
on.
I'm still on 2K now. Like, come on now.
What's your build?
I got two bills. I got the like undersized for like Stu Athletic Zion build. I forgot the exact name. And then I got the other like my center build is like the Marcus Cousins build. I forgot the name, but that's who I name. That's who I like model my players after. And that's another player I forgot to say like that I model my game after. The Marcus Cousins is my absolute favorite player. If you don't know, he's from Alabama too.
Uh-huh.
Like us being both from Alabama, like that don't mean nothing. But like growing up, that was always my favorite player to watch, and that's who I tried to study the most, especially when I first started playing basketball.
Hmm.
I can't believe I forgot to say that, but for sure, DeMarcus Cousins is my favorite player to watch ever.
Were you a Zach Randolph guy?
Oh yeah, but you know he was left-handed though, so it's like
Oh,
it's
okay.
different for like right-handed players. You know, like you seeing like a left-handed guy. It's like because I don't have some left-handed teammates that were just getting off just because like players wasn't used to guarding like players going to their left side all the time. So
Yeah.
it was just that he was just a little bit different for me. But DeMarcus Cousins for sure, that's my guy right there. That's my all-time favorite player.
I don't. Is that a common favorite player?
Nah.
No,
Too many.
I would
Don't too
think.
many people say that. Nah. But like
I
me
mean,
being, like I said, us both being from Alabama, like for sure, like that's my favorite player for sure.
gotcha. All right. Well, this is a great place to end it. Shannon, I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
It was a pleasure.
Man, I appreciate you, man.